Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey. Say it's all good, cause it's all good, hey.
Welcome! I have successfully taken over Hide from Friends! Oh, great. What's it?
It is I, your king, T'Challa, reporting live for Hide from Friends. What's up, motherfucker? Oh shit! I'm back, baby. Here we are. What's up, baby? King T'Challa is reporting live. Hi, from France. Here we are, live in the flesh. I am your king. That is Greta, the wicked witch of the north side. She is here with me. Welcome, friends, family, to Wakanda. This is the Wakanda edition. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween.
And then from my vampire side, Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween,
Spooky time.
motherfuckers. Aunt Powell here reporting live with Greta Hutch, as I said before. Welcome to Hide for Friends, the Halloween edition. As you can see, we fully decked out in this bitch. It ain't a game. We got the cat.
My cat Willow.
Cat Willow's here. We got Greta here. We got me. It's an evil edition, baby.
Yo, and
it's
you know who we
going
will
down.
get? Ooh, the spookiest.
Oh, we getting super spooky today.
spooky.
We got some spooky guests in the building, and I'm talking about the one and only Brice and Tammie. Hollyweird Paranormal will be here with us today. If you love spook, if you love paranormal, you love ghost stories, you love scary, you in the right place today. It is going down for real.
But before we get really spooky, I just want to get a little bit gifty, I guess. It's Happy Halloween. It's a small little tradition I do to people, but last week we kind of left it on a little note of, you know, like self-love, self-reflection, and from one of my favorite psychological thriller directors, David Lynch has written a book called Catching the Big Fish, and it is a meditation, consciousness, and like creativity book. I read it a while ago, but I know that you were really into like those kinds of books, and the book that you were reading for us last week, I just wanted to say Happy Halloween.
What? I get a Halloween gift?
Yeah, Happy
What?
Halloween!
Who the fuck gives gifts on Halloween? This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Aw, I feel horrible. I didn't even give you anything for Halloween. I don't give a...
It's okay, I don't get anything but misery, so it's fine.
I got some candy.
I'm just messing.
Oh, come on. Don't say that. The people going to take you serious.
I'm just messing. I mean, tell me if you think so in the comments below.
You stupid.
And then and then comment, and then subscribe, and we're all good.
This is dope. David Lynch, Catching the Big Fish, Meditation, Consciousness, and Creativity.
Yeah.
This is the 10th anniversary edition with interviews with Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr.
Yeah, I just
Wow,
read it.
thanks,
I read
man.
it, and I thought that it'd be... I don't know. I thought it'd be something that we could talk about possibly, because it's one of the only books that I've read, and
Special.
and because of that, I thought that I just thought that you enjoy it.
Thank you so much. The King of Wakanda appreciates your gift. Your gift is accepted with open arms. My people have accepted you.
Yes, from the dead that
You are more
walk
than a
with the
colonizer.
living.
Yes.
We appreciate
Thank you.
this.
No, seriously, I appreciate that. I appreciate the fuck out
Yeah,
of that.
for sure.
Straight
Happy
up.
Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Do something unexpected.
Yeah, so like get a gift or give a gift. Yeah, no one. This is a first for me. That's brand new. You pop my Halloween gift cherry right on the
I
end.
like popping cherries.
That's it. All right, moving right along.
Anyways.
how was your weekend? How have you been ever since last week? Since the last time we tapped in with you, how you been, Greta? What's been going on?
You know, did a Halloween stream. Of course, I was very scared. We played Resident Evil 7, and it was fucking terrifying. I screamed. You can still see the stream for a little bit longer, but like I was super scared. Like I was screaming. I get so scared. It's ridiculous. It's super silly. But that's basically the weekend I have to. So what about you? What about you? Oh wait, I did see a drive-in movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and let me tell you, if you're gonna see a drive-in, don't go to a pop-up unless you're like, man, I really just want a very not good drive-in experience. Then totally do it. But other than that, you know, definitely seek out those real ones. I think that'd be cool. Get your spooky on with Nightmare. In my opinion, I think it's getting my spooky on. But
you should have hit me up for the drive-in spots. You know, I could have put you on to the real ones.
it's all good. I didn't pick it, so it's fine. Anyways, so
Touche. Yeah. Sounds fun though. Sound like you had a good time.
yeah, it was cute. I think that Nightmare Before Christmas is very cute. And I also enjoy the remixes sometimes. It's just very nostalgic. It's cute. I
don't
like
think
it.
I ever got through that whole movie. I was kind of spooked by it in my younger years.
First time I saw it, I was terrified.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even watch the commercials. I was so scared.
Just the characters themselves.
like,
to play with that shit was like, what the fuck? Who's the creep ball that thought this up for kids?
I love it though. I'm glad that he made it. You know, I hate Sally, but that's a whole different thing. Anyways, how was your weekend?
That's good. I don't even know who Sally is, but we'll get to her another time.
Oh, everyone who knows who Sally is, if you actually love Sally, defend her in the comments below, because I think she's trash. Anyways.
Well, I'll learn the backstory soon. Well, my weekend was pretty good, man. Chill. Got to get social, you know, had a good time, chilled out, enjoyed some sports this weekend, of course. Big shout out to Khabib, retired, you know what I'm saying, went out at the top of the game, shot him out. Shout out to the Skins, shout out to the Washington football team, excuse me, we don't call them the Skins anymore, I still call them the Skins. Shout out to my Skins, crushed them Cowgirls this weekend, that was beautiful, watched the Dodgers lose and then win the next night, that was fun. You know, kicked it with the homies, man. It was love. It was all love, man. I can't complain at all.
You watch anything interesting or?
I did. I got into some good series over the week. I got into Lovecraft Country, which I think is a great series that you should get into.
It's
sci-fi. It's black. It's great. It's on HBO. It's spooky.
That sounds
It's spooky
cool.
as fuck. It's spooky as fuck. It's got a great storyline to it. Go ahead.
Another movie that I did see this weekend was The Craft, and that was the first time me seeing it. What are your opinions on The
Your
Craft?
first time seeing The Craft? Mm-hmm. You haven't seen The Craft? Of all people to not, I would expect you to have seen
My
The
mom,
Craft.
I started to watch it for a little bit. My mom saw it and she was like, "Turn this off!" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, okay, yeah, man, I'm familiar with The Craft. The Craft, that was one of my sister's favorite films. As my older sister, that was one of her favorite films. And you know, she was, we ain't gonna get into all that, but
I feel like if I did see it when I was younger, I would have liked it a lot more, and I would have it would have had like some nostalgia aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I was honestly pretty disappointed in the movie because I was like, of course the movie is gonna be this thing. Like, it was just
was it the CGI? Was it?
no. Not that at all. Like the shots, it was shot beautifully, and the lighting was really good. The set dressing, like, super good. But it was just like the script is where it really lacked, and the directing, and it was written by two men and for some female teenagers who
It was
didn't
written
know.
by men?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it was also like, and they have no idea about anything like occult material, at least from what I saw in the movie and their script, because it was like, let's do Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, that's all they had to grasp onto was Earth, Wind, and Fire, and then they knew nothing about it. They literally had a triple air sign playing an Earth sign, like.
I don't know the logistics of why
I don't
that's
know.
so
It
crazy.
was just so hard. I was like, it's a cute movie if you watched it when you were younger, you know, if you were into it, but it's like, it's the only kind of like witchy teenager occult vibe movie, you know, so it's like, of course it's gonna be that, you know.
Well, they did a good job of captivating that teenage girl audience back then. And I know it was two dudes that wrote it. But it was also, you know, a lot of shit was poorly written back then.
But just like the main thing that I really just have, I think, the most issue with is, I mean, the research, but the other thing is like, the witches were just so, the girls and the characters were just so superficial. Like, that was all the movie was based off of, was this like weird superficial thing that all the girls had going on. Like, there was a problem with this like racism in it, but what was the solution? The other girl loses her hair and then she doesn't even confront her about it? What? You're just gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, we have to have a black girl in the lead cast. And what is her problem in life? Racism. Cool. She doesn't, get along with the blonde girl. Let's make her lose her good looks. What kind of addressing a situation is that? Like you're trying to say something, but you're not. Way to just fail.
Horrible storytelling on the behalf of those writers. I'm not sure of their names, but that's a spark for me. I had no idea about that.
For your blood.
I had no idea it was those guys, and man, maybe it was some poor storytelling. I haven't seen in a year, so I really can't even tell you the story like that. But
right, it's very cute. It's like put it up and talk about it with your friends through the whole movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was for back then.
Yeah.
The girls, oh my God, I'm that character. Yeah.
So I guess I'm not mad at it for that, but if it was trying to take itself seriously in any capacity,
it failed in that aspect with you.
It did.
Well, that's good to know. I'm glad you finally got to see the craft and hate it.
Me too. It was cute. I've always saw the pictures and I was like, wow, I want to see this movie, and I saw it and I'm like, good to know.
Yeah. What's your favorite Halloween flick?
My favorite Halloween flick.
Yeah.
I think Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, the remake, the later one.
Yeah, but honestly,
that shit was hard.
Not Evil Dead, but what's the next one? Oh my God.
I don't know.
I want to say it's like Land of the Living Dead.
The old joint.
Yeah, it's like, oh God. Maybe.
I don't know, but
I don't know. Fuck. I'm like, I guess just Evil Dead is my favorite then, because I can't even remember the name. It's like the next movie, and they like fall, and it's like medieval or whatever. Anyways, but Evil Dead is a really great movie. What about you? Sorry, I'm getting very excited. It's Halloween. My energy is bursting out. We can see
it. No, if I gotta choose though, I'm gonna go with Hereditary. Hereditary.
Oh
I wouldn't even say that's. Well, fuck it. It's a thriller. It's a hell of a thriller. It's an edge of your seat joint. I love Hereditary. Hereditary was my movie. That joint shook me. I love the director. You haven't seen Hereditary? It's with Toni Collette. I highly recommend you watch it. If you haven't seen Hereditary, make that your Halloween watch. Watch Hereditary. I believe it's on Amazon, and maybe you can rent it somewhere else.
I'm so scared.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, it'll spook you. I think you should watch it and enjoy it.
Oh God, Hereditary.
I'll watch it with you. That shit hard. I watch that movie again and again and again.
I want to stuff the animal first.
Toni Collette, just a great fucking actress. She goes in and whatever she does, she can get me anytime. Yeah. Anytime.
Well, I mean, it is it's time to float, guys. We're already high.
Hold up. Another thing I saw over the weekend, Borat 2. The new Borat, priceless. I was curious how he's going to do it with him being so well known and that character. He goes about it in the film. Check that out. I think you should check that out. He always going in on every country, America, Kazakhstan, everywhere. He goes in. I loved it, but once again, he shows our ignorance in his finest ways. Rudy Giuliani, you're a pig. You're a pig. You're a pig. This nigga bust into Mike Pence's fucking convention with the girl on his shoulder. This is real. Nigga, Mike, I have the girl with the Donald Trump costume on. Oh my God. Mike, I have the girl. I have her. Oh, and this fucking white lady pushes him in the back. And he's like, you hit me. Man, don't touch me. But that just goes to show you fucking Trump supporters, Pence lovers, think you can just put your hands on niggas. Somebody gonna smack the shit out you now. When y'all in them rooms, they be hella comfortable to smack the shit out of a nigga. But I don't mean to go on a political rant here. But,
that's for next
week. We'll say that for next week. Next week, we'll see who we are, where we are, and how we are.
Yeah, that's why this week we were like, oh my God, okay, well, it's Halloween. Let's just make it a super fun episode. We don't want to get like... Too intimate with like what's happening, I guess. I don't know.
Because shit's always happening. But it's Halloween. It's time for us to get wild. I don't fucking wear costumes, but this is cool. I love rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. Always love for my number one superhero, Ibambe! Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? Gotta represent Wakanda. But please check out Borat 2.
Yeah, real quick shout out to Scarecrow Vampire Fangs for giving me these beautiful fangs, these cute little sexy fangs, they're called. But they are the reason that they make me a vampire possible today. I'm a vampire year round. Let's be clear.
I won't deny that.
But
Seconded.
But I thought that I would bring it out for this episode because, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, I had to go on the hunt to get this, but I'm feeling real motherfucking royal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I were like, how do we don't dress up for this episode? And we're like, let's just be ourselves. So here we are.
In true form. In true fine rare form, as we are every week.
Finest divine. Like if you ripped away our essence and all you got was our spirit, our paranormal spirit, here it is.
Here it is. Here it is. And speaking of paranormal spirit, I believe it's time to get a little paranormal because we got a couple of people on standby right now that are ready to take us into another world.
Damn, it's about to get Hollyweird up in this bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure today to have our very spooky guests in the building. We have Brice and Tammie, the duo of Hollyweird Paranormal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome them to the building.
Hi.
Brice, Tammie, how are you guys doing? How are you two? How are you?
Good.
Doing pretty well.
Yes. Doing pretty good.
We think
Doing
It's
very
always
well.
such a loaded question now. Like, how are you?
Yeah. Right?
in these times that's a question that might take a year to answer because I'm sure we all got a lot to
I
say.
still, out of habit, I'll come to work and I'll be like, "How was your weekend?" And my coworkers look at me like, "Why are you asking me?" Right, my bad. I'm so
They're
sorry.
like-
It's just how-
I'm offended and shit. Like
You know what I did. You know exactly
Yeah,
what I did. The
exactly.
same
Yeah.
thing
That's
I
the thing
started
every
doing
weekend.
back in March. But it's a pleasure to have both of you guys here. For those
Thank
of you
you.
who don't know, Hollyweird Paranormal it's in the name, if you can't tell. They are a paranormal duo who take it upon themselves to interact and go on some spooky hunts and deal with the spirits and entities of the world that we don't deal with ourselves too much if you're not into it.
Oh, I deal with the paranormal on the daily. I don't know what you're talking about.
I believe Greta is the paranormal, but that's my story, so we'll deal with that later. But anyway, it's a pleasure to have you two here. Why don't you guys give a little brief intro, if you like, to the people who don't know. Let them know about the Hollyweird and how you guys got together and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
tell us about yourselves. Why are you here?
Well, we are a Hollywood true crime and paranormal podcast, and we're based out of Los Angeles. And we used to work out of Hollywood. And Greta knows, like, we used to work at her school, and we talk about Hollywood true crime and its paranormal association or anything weird, which is, I mean, there's a lot of weird stories that come out of Los Angeles and Hollywood for that matter. And
Oh,
yeah. One day, Brice and I, we were talking in my costume shop at our old job, and our old job does have a lot of ghost stories that have circulated, and we just decided to create a podcast based out of those stories
Yeah, you
and
guys
share
have
them with everyone.
You guys have an episode, right, about like the Charlie Chaplin ghost or something, right? Which was
Yeah.
which is in that area, right? Yeah. That's super
Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah.
if you
Well,
guys-
and that's sort of how it started. Is that the school, even just as a historical landmark in like the heart of Hollywood, they have such a history. And so there's all this lore that kind of swirls around the school anyway, just by its proximity to like the early founding of Hollywood. Like it's on the grounds that Charlie Chaplin owned as part of his orange groves and his studios and all of that. So even if we were just like a historical Hollywood podcast, that history is so ingrained in there. And then also, of course, it's still an acting school. So of course people embellish and feel extra, and they relate to that sort of ethereal essence of being an actor. And I think that sort of all wraps up into a pie that kind of gives you some hauntings and some spiritual activity and just all kinds of chaos. So that was sort of how we sort of began our journey, as we'd just be chalked. Like I would be not working and I would go down to Tammie on my break and we would just start talking like, "Hey, have you ever heard about this? Have you ever heard about this?" And it just sort of spun from there.
Yep.
Well, I heard those stories myself while I was there, and I personally didn't ever have any encounterings of or visions of Charlie or anything. Heard nothing spooky, but I heard a lot about it. But I hate to get off topic real quick, but I got a little fun fact about you guys. I saw Tammie while you were speaking there, Brice. You guys are coffee addicts as well. Is that,
Oh
is that correct?
my God, both
saw
of
some-
you.
I know.
Both
I
of them
see you
got
guys
their
smoking,
coffee.
and I'm like, I don't have anything. I mean, I did take some CBD oil before just to ease my nerves. So.
Well,
As you should, guaranteed reduction.
well,
Yes, we are definitely coffee addicts.
yes, well, the coffee's definitely your high. Yeah, I know that for a fact. I heard that Brice over there takes it in at unusual rates. Slow down, brother. Slow down.
If you look at the front, like I'm in my car right now, if you look at the front section of my passenger seat, it is a graveyard of Starbucks wrappers. It's so embarrassing. I am the garbage that I have created. It's disgusting.
If you open the door to his car, it all just blows out.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Yeah.
that's just true love right there. You keep it near and dear to you at all times. You don't want to let it go. I understand.
Yeah.
I can understand.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Well, I mean, while we're on the topic of you, Brice, I actually had a question for you.
Yeah.
Just because I saw that you kind of grew up in a kind of conservative background, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do too. Like, I definitely came from a very conservative background with my family, and the town that I grew up in, it was pretty small, pretty religious as well. So I just kind of wanted to ask you a little about that, and did you break away from that at all in finding the paranormal? What kind of made you feel like an acceptance for it, I suppose?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's funny, growing up, it's a very black and white kind of structure. I grew up in a very rural part of Ohio, just north of Columbus. My dad used to be a minister. So a lot of things, I should say, were labeled as like spiritual warfare or like spiritual.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have necessarily quantified them as like ghosts or apparitions, like all of the things that we sort of like talk about now on our podcast. We would either, sort of categorize them as like completely dismissible, like that didn't happen, or an angel or a demon.
Yeah,
there
like it was
no
evil.
gray
It was a
area.
force of good or evil, something that was like externally trying
And
to
it did.
out for
That's such a
you.
good point. Is that it had the undertone of like that is evil versus good. There's really there was not a lot of wiggle room for gray area or moral ambiguity, or many times spirits are just manifestations of energy, I think.
Yes, which would make
and
sense as why
that's
you so
they're
much
not the
energy.
signy.
Sorry.
Right, and there's no morality attached to that. It's just like, oh, this is something, of course, sometimes there's something more malicious or whatever, but most of the time, they're just trying to communicate, or it's energy that's been brought in, or who knows what. That was not part of my world growing up. Everything was very much assigned a morality. Most of it was evil.
Yeah.
So as I grew up, so I actually went to Christian university as well. So that sort of spiritual warfare mindset really continued quite far into like my 20s. And then as I came out myself, came to LA, started unlearning some of those ingrained behaviors and self-loathing and things like that. Sorry, we're getting very deep. Yeah. Your mind begins to open up. And so it's like, well, if these things that I've always believed really don't apply to my life anymore, aren't really that true anymore, aren't provable anymore, what other things does that open you up to? And when you're unable to explain things in a black and white system, a binary system, if you will, if they don't fit in neatly, where does that leave you? And for me, it's left me with just an openness of, I don't know. A lot of times, like what Tammie and I have experienced, things that are supernatural, paranormal, all of those things. I'm like, I don't know what that was, but I definitely can't explain it. So probably the world and life and death and all of those things are bigger than what I was taught to believe they were.
Right.
So. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coming from, I'm not going to say I came from the most spiritual background or, the most Christian background, but it was kind of the same in my household too. Oh, there's good and evil. Oh, that's bad. That's the devil. You know what I'm saying? There was never really no understanding really.
No openness to it. It was just a fear.
It's
right.
It's like, don't put your hand in the socket, get the socket, but you don't know why. You know what I mean? You're just curious by it. You know what I mean? But
yes.
I don't know. That was probably a bad example, because you know why not to put your hand in the socket. You know, I don't know. So
that mindset is very true. Just like if you dabble, it's so funny. I was talking to a friend of mine. I've known her essentially my whole life. We both went to the same university and grew up in church together. And we were just talking and laughing. And there's this, just some TikTok video about like Christian moms during Halloween. And one of the bits, not to explain the TikTok video, I hate when people do this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Do it.
They're driving by, and they drive by sort of just like kitschy, traditional Halloween decorations, like a ghost and a little green witch. And she's like, kids, don't look, it's dark-sided.
That's my mom.
So true.
That's my
God,
mom.
too. They were always like, don't even look at it. If you dabble in it, like to your example of the light socket, like don't touch it or you'll go straight to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 99-cent store Halloween decoration.
That's my mother. That ain't nothing but the devil. Jesus Lord. I mean, like, if you don't calm down,
my
woman.
family is like that too. They, when I got married to my husband, I brought out the box of Halloween decorations. He's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's Halloween," We never did anything like this, and I'm like, "Why?" They believe it's the day of the devil, and it's for worshiping and for sacrificing. And I was like, no. Actually, it dates way back to the Druids. It dates way back actually to a point where it was like part of the tradition of candy companies as well.
Yeah.
So you know, there's so many explanations for it, but educated evil is not one of them.
We were told a light anecdote. We were told in university. So I went to school in Indiana before I moved out to LA. And we were told that if you were a blonde woman, that you needed to be extra careful on Halloween because witch covens in the area would kidnap you for Halloween ritualistic sacrifice. Which,
Wow.
What twisted control mechanism is this? Like, you're in Indiana, so everyone's white and blonde. Like, there's no way that anyone's in danger if Indiana, like in the middle of a cornfield, and everyone's like scared on Halloween.
Oh my God.
It's just chaos.
I tell you what.
No one's kidnapping you. Like, it's fine.
Listen, if I was white and blonde, my ass would never be seen outside on Halloween. You hear me?
I never went out on Halloween. I was always inside.
They would've got me.
Sheltered. I was sheltered. I was taken away. I'd hit up the fucking car parking lots at the churches to get my candy.
No, they used to do this shit called Hollyweird at the churches. Like, what the hell is Hollyweird? You can't try to flip it. If you ain't gonna do it, don't do it at all. Don't try to flip it.
They'd have people hiding in the fucking closets of the church, like dressed as Moses, and he's like, "I'm parting the Red Sea." And I'm like,
That's extra.
Look, the church is really good at annexing other cultures and calling it holy. So.
We talked about that a few weeks ago. But that's crazy. That's super interesting, and to see where you are now and how you've come about to it. Of course, LA is a big reason behind that. LA opens up anybody, I believe. You know what I mean? There's no telling what you could dabble in here or anywhere in the world, once you get out of your comfort zone. But that's super interesting to have that backstory about you. But Tammie, you're from New Orleans, correct?
Yes.
Louisiana. So you were kind of right in the thick of it, I believe. I want to kind of believe here for you to how let's hear your story. How'd you get into the whole paranormal world?
I remember being in the first grade and growing up in New Orleans, I guess I'll backtrack. Growing up in New Orleans, you always knew that place is filled with a lot of things, spirituality and a lot of legend and lore.
Right.
I always grew up with the legend of the Rougarou when I was growing up, and the Rougarou is an old Louisiana legend that talks about a swamp werewolf, and every Halloween the local news stations would do something of the Rougarou watch, and my parents would scare the crap out of me and my sisters with it. So those are things that we grew up with in New Orleans, with our own legends and lore and culture.
Yeah,
and then,
the
of course,
legends.
people always ask me about voodoo. Honestly, we celebrated in a sense of, being Catholic. There is a parallel with voodoo and Catholicism because we do celebrate St. Joseph's Day, both, practitioners of voodoo and also Catholics themselves. Like, we have our altars, we bring our offerings of bread and stuff to St. Joseph and dress in white. So
I'm sorry.
those are little things that we bring.
I'm sorry, but what is St. Joseph's Day?
St. Joseph's Day is a celebration of course, our patron saint of St. Joseph, and when I think it's a celebration that we pay homage to him. I believe it's in March. And I believe that he's the patron saint. I could be wrong of I think of the poor and orphans as well. But I know like every year we would always like see the altars in certain churches, and especially in certain outdoor ceremonies and celebrations, and people would always bring like their, you know, bread offerings and candy and stuff to his altar. So that was something that I remember always growing up with, and it kind of died out when I left and moved to Texas. But growing up in New Orleans, yeah, there's a lot of places that, you know, always had like ghost stories and legends and lores that kind of like got me involved with that kind of tradition and kind of curiosity to the paranormal. And then when I started working in theater, that's when I started working in old haunted theaters, I guess you can say, and it got me really involved.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like I've always felt like whenever going to a stage of some kind, especially ones that are older, like feeling some sort of presence or that energy that's there. So
Yeah.
us saying that there was a lot of activity at that school, you know, a very old school, you know, I'm always wondering, especially with all the emotions built up within each fucking actor, you know, just released at that school. So it's like, of course there's going to be like lingering energy there as well. I don't know. I feel as if a lot of, not just like, I don't know how I believe completely about these things exactly, but I feel like paranormal it's real, obviously, but there's another side that's like leftover energy that's like held on to by that as well from others. I don't really know a lot. I don't know. I'm just...
No, that's actually something we always, almost every episode, I think at this point, talk about, is that there are layers of history and energy and emotion, and those things bubble up to the surface. It's why when you see a ghost or an apparition walking through a wall, it's like, they're walking through a wall. But in their timeline, there used to be a stairway there. And so they're just walking down the stairway, but I'm not kidding, somebody just dropped in my car and I got so scared.
Wow. Oh, buddy.
I got scared too just now.
Energy that we bring to these places then can take manifest form and come back to us as a haunting or a ghost or whatever you want to end up calling it. But it's sort of these mixes of like, sometimes history is coming up through, sometimes the energy of the earth you have to consider, sometimes electromagnetic you have to consider, sometimes actors being really fucking dramatic you have to consider. Like, all these things play into it.
I believe that. I really believe that. And I mean,
I don't know if you all have ever heard that.
No, I mean, I say shit. A few films show that, The Conjuring and all that. You know, they choose an energy, choose a person with a certain type of energy and shit like that. Those are the only movies that really got through to me. But that's why I like you guys. Another reason, because you guys don't just talk about it. You guys also get your hands dirty. And you get out there too, you know what I mean? I like that.
Tammie especially, yeah.
Tammie, you were doing stuff at the beginning of this year, weren't you? Like as COVID stuff is still happening, you're just like, I'm gonna go.
Beginning of this year, just recently, you just did something.
Sorry. I'm saying
on the most recent episode of Hollyweird Paranormal. Please go listen on all your podcast streaming services, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. They're everywhere. Please go listen.
Especially during the pandemic, ghost hunting or paranormal investigations during the pandemic is a thing, because I mean, you could go out and with another person or just by yourself and research and investigate and do it appropriately and safely. I think I've done close to 3 or 4 of them, and I done one recently a week ago in Old Town San Diego, where I had something weird happen at one of the most haunted hotels in California, which is the Cosmopolitan Hotel.
Right.
And that was the most recent episode that I did, which is episode 70. And something was definitely in my hotel room that morning. So can't explain it.
Well,
Girl.
it can be explained on the episode 70 that, as I
That he
mentioned,
just
is playing
plugged.
everywhere on all your podcast streaming services. Go check that out. Very interesting. And you were in the, like you said, you were in the most haunted room. And the episode starts off spooky as crap.
Yeah, so backtrack. We have a friend, his name is Zachariah the Witch, and
Yes.
and we highly recommend if you guys need someone who can do a card reading for you, or just do a general reading or do your numerology. He's wonderful. And we've worked with him many times. He's pretty legit, and he's just this wonderful human being. Well, he was working with Witches Brew LA. They wanted to do an interactive and safe social distance haunt experience in San Diego. And the setting was the Cosmopolitan Hotel. It's 149 years old. It was one of the first adobes of San Diego that was transitioned into a hotel in the mid 1800s. And he just out of the blue texted me. He was like, "Hey, do you and Brice want to stay in a hotel room here at the Cosmo? It's one of the most haunted hotel rooms." And I was game for it. And I texted Brice, and I think you're almost game for it too, Brice. But
Yeah, almost.
Almost.
I ain't mad at you.
But something happened at work that we wanted to be safe, and he unfortunately couldn't show up, so I had myself defend for it.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
But it just so happened, after I accepted the invitation from Zachariah, he's like, "Oh, by the way, it's one of the most haunted rooms in the hotel."
Oh. Okay. And you're by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, baddie. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't have paid me to do it.
Okay. So I did my research, and I was like, crap, it is one of the most haunted rooms. And it is one of the most haunted hotels. And a lot of people who go there claim to have certain experiences. And I had I think one minor one earlier when I arrived, and another one when I woke up at 4:15 in the morning. So something was definitely in that room with me. I'm not gonna lie.
Nothing good happens at 4:15 in the morning.
Hell no. Hell no. Ain't nothing good happening there.
I could tell you this, for your listeners, just to give you a little boosh. But the day before, I was supposed to go to this hotel. Zachariah, being Zachariah, decided to send me a text message. So this couple from Arizona had booked room 11, the room that I'm supposed to stay in on Sunday. They had booked it from Friday, and they were supposed to check out Sunday morning. They dipped Saturday at 3 a.m. They booked the hell out of that room because something or someone was whispering to them while they were sleeping in the room. And the next morning, the hotel manager noticed in the checkout drop key box that their keys were there. And he contacts them. He's like, "Hey, what happened? Is everything okay? Was there an emergency? You have the hotel room booked till Sunday." And they're like, "We cannot stay in that room any longer. There was a woman in the room with us. She was whispering to us. We heard someone walking around. We got the F out. We're not staying there." And they left at 3 a.m. They booked it out of there.
I'm gonna take a page out of my mama book right here, and I'm gonna say that ain't nothing but the devil. Jesus.
Oh my God, can we get a soundbite of that? That ain't nothing.
Man, that would.
So I was like, "What?" I'm reading this text message. I'm like, slowly rethinking my decision on going. I'm like, no, I gotta do it. So
Girl, no. Oh God.
Nah, you couldn't have paid me to do it after hearing that story.
My heart's beating just for
I'm telling you, my stomach all low and feeling all butterflied up and shit. I'm like, wait a minute now.
I was like,
just the story alone.
We're such babies.
I don't do paranormal.
I was like, please don't threaten me with a good time. I'm not down.
So funny.
Jeez, you got me beat.
But it ended up being really, really awesome. It turned out that I had a girlfriend that stayed there Saturday night. They immediately grabbed the room Saturday night, and she was like, "I'm not going to tell you what else I experienced too at 4:30," which the following day when I woke up in that room on Monday and I read her message, something did happen to her at 4:30, just like something happened to me at 4:15. So
That's that.
yeah, it just goes to say there's something there.
Hey, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, but the Cosmopolitan Hotel apparently ain't either.
True.
The Cosmopolitan
So
funny.
ain't nothing to be fucked with apparently either. So I'ma let that be.
Well, okay, so since that we're on the topic of like kind of spooky, interactions specifically, we wanted to know kind of what your creepiest, spookiest experience has been, like as a team.
Yeah. What's that? What's how or together? Something you experienced together or both? Whatever you got for us. Come on, it's Halloween. Make me poop myself.
it's spooky.
Oh, we have the
gotta
David
drink for
Omen
this one.
story.
Yeah, that's definitely my pinnacle, I would say. It sounds like you just recently had a pretty spooky one. But we did go to the David Omen house, which for anyone who doesn't know, David Omen lives on the same road where the Sharon Tate Helter Skelter murders occurred, which is sort of the premise around Once Upon a Time in Hollywoodland. So if you're kind of familiar with that story. Tammie is the Brad Pitt. I'm the Leo. So his house is quite haunted, and he sort of gives tours, and he's done talks, and he does seances, and there's actually like several spirits and apparitions all in his house. So we went to his house to interview him and to talk about the Sharon Tate murders and the history of the property and the history of his time there, because he's been there for decades. And while we were there, then we did like a tour of the house, and it was just like one thing after another, just like really weird, unexplainable, like, I don't know, just different rooms would affect both of us differently as well. So that was like kind of jarring.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, he has these figurines on his fish tank, and his show his house has been on many shows, especially Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures tried to debunk this, but he has these Beetlejuice figurines in his entertainment center that fall forward out of nowhere. Sometimes they're even like smacked off of the counter, just out of the blue by an unseen force. And while we were there, like instantly, the first figure off of that counter, like, fell down.
Wow.
And I've never seen something like that in that house, because I've investigated that house for a year and a half. But I've never seen something like that happen immediately when someone walks in. And usually, the house gives you a warm up or time before they start, really looking at you. And I think with Brice, they knew. They're like, oh, you're the bit of a skeptic. Well, that's a lot,
Yeah, so it was like every room we were going in, and then the figurines they would not stop falling.
They would not stop falling. And
he kept like propping them up and like bracing them, and like, it was like getting ridiculous. Like, we're trying to have a conversation. He's like putting them so they won't fall, and they keep falling. Like, oh my God, what is happening?
You know what? That would have been my sound.
They're not light. Like, they're hefty. They're like dye figurines, like not metal, but it's like a heavy like plaster, I think, or like heavy plastic. So they're not just like falling over. Like, it would take someone like effort to move them, and that's how they were being. It's like someone was toppling them over.
Oh, when was this? Yeah. When was this?
This
2 years ago.
I think almost 2 years ago, yeah. We have it in, I think, the first or second season of our podcast, but yeah, I mean, David was freaking out too. He's like, I've never seen them go back to back, like fall back to back to back like that. And he was even debunking them for him to see, like, I'm not doing anything. Like, he's jumping on the floor, he's shaking like the counter. They're like kind of wobbly, but they're not falling forward. Yeah. And yeah, I think at one point while we were interviewing him, the audio just shuts out while we're talking about Sharon. And that's never happened before. We're like, whoa, okay. Like, it was something like, does Sharon have anything else, she wants to say? Or because apparently David has claimed that Sharon speaks through him. And before David could even say anything, the audio just shuts out for literally 2 seconds, and it comes back on, and I'm like,
Whew.
looking around. I'm like, the plug for the audios they're plugged in.
Okay.
My phone, not my phone, my computer, everything is charged. Like, there's no explanation for the sound. After we had just sat there for an hour and a half with David, it just went, boop, it just silenced off for 2 to 3 seconds, and then it came back on, and he's like, oh, there's your answer. That's Sharon. I was like, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to leave now. I appreciate your time, Sharon. I'm out.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I've investigated the house for about 1.5 years, and I've seen my first shadow person. I've seen orbs. I've had my hair, like, brushed through by an unseen force twice. Yeah.
I'm out.
Bless you. And,
bless you.
I've captured actual full body apparitions. If you go on our Instagram at Hollyweird Paranormal, you can see there's one photo I've taken of what looks like a man sitting on top of a car. And I guess you guys would like this story too, but did you know that next door to David, there's a house that's an Airbnb house, and guess who rented the house last year for his album?
Who?
Usher. Usher, yeah, talk about Confessions Part 3. So Usher rents the house next door to David, and that house has a lot of activity because that was the house that the maid in the 60s ran into to use the phone after she found the bodies of Sharon Tate and Wojciech Bukowski and Jay Sebring and Abigail Folger slaughtered by the family. So that was the house that allowed her to come in and use the phone. I investigated that house, and that house is just the weirdest vibes. It just has the weirdest energy. And, Usher had rented the house for 6 months for his cousin and another associate or producer of theirs to move in to record and write stuff for his new album. And David, greeted them when they moved in, and 2 weeks later, they knock on David's door, the cousin of Usher, and he's like, yo, man, I need to talk to you about something. You're into this kind of stuff, right? And he's like, what kind of stuff are you talking about? Like, I'm into that, and I'm into other things, so.
What's your kink?
They literally, like, David invites him in, and they did a little bit of that, and they started talking about what was going on. So apparently the cousin and the producer, literally a week after moving in, they started experiencing a lot of weird things in the house. So he was telling David that he was taking a shower on the 2nd floor, and he hears what sounds like movement on the 1st floor. He thought, it's probably Usher, it's probably, one of my friends coming in. So he calls out to him, and he's like, I'm hearing movement on the 1st floor. I'm hearing footsteps. Mm-hmm. And he calls out, no response. He gets done. He gets ready. He goes to the 1st floor, and there's no one in the house.
Oh, hell no.
And, yeah, and
hell no.
Times where they're trying to record on the 3rd floor, and the audio would get all fussy. Things would start acting up. There have been times where he would wake up to hear movement on the 1st floor. He's even seen some orbs and weird shadow figures on the 1st and 2nd floor. So it was a lot of things that they would start to see within time of staying in that house. And then finally they just they booked it after 6 months and hoped to never come back. But that was their story. I even remember during Super Bowl last year when I went to David's house, I sat next to his cousin, and he was like, yeah, man, there's some weird shit going on in that house. I just can't wait to leave. So.
How long do you think it'd take you guys if you lived in a house like that to leave or not?
You looking at me?
All of you, how long do you think you would last if you were in that situation? How long are you staying in that house that you got?
36 seconds.
Is there money on the line?
Yeah.
I mean,
for money on the line, I could stay for a really long time.
Yeah, right?
A whole lot of salt.
I don't know, because
if you're gonna pay me, I'll stay there as long as you want.
I gotta live with that. I gotta live with that mental scarring afterwards. So I don't know if that money can cure it afterwards. So for me, I got 36 seconds in me. 36 and I'm out. once I would have saw one of them little things fall over or something, or I hear something. Oh yeah, you know this house has a history, right? Oh, you know I got a history of getting my black ass up out of there when I find something fishy going on.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hell
What's
no.
crazy is at David Oman House, many people actually see apparitions on the street outside, so you're actually not safe anywhere if you're around there. Like,
Oh.
you're just damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And they latch on to
that's just this
fear,
house.
right?
It's
Yeah.
Benedict Canyon. Benedict Canyon is weird. It's just a weird place. It's got an energy of its own, and even when I'm driving around there, I at night I'm like locking the doors, zipping up the window. Like it could be a little scary.
What's been I've just been thinking a lot about like what scared me as a child and like experiences I had. I was like, was it just my imagination? Was it paranormal? You know, what was an experience that you guys had as like at a young age that really was like
Adolescent terror. Ooh.
I don't know. Like what's something that you were young and you were just like, I remember this and I know it was like it was not of this world, I suppose. I don't know.
If any at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in a similar boat. Like I was very scared as a child, but I think a lot of those things were like just self-manifested fears.
Yeah.
I was in college. I was working at a theater in Indiana, and it was very. I think all theaters are probably a little haunted, just because of the history and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the director of the theater, like the artistic director, he actually died during the run of a show, and it was, obviously very sad, and we kind of did the whole, like, the show must go on, and tried to rally, so he died the weekend of Thanksgiving, and the show was, like, a Christmas show, so it opened, like, that following weekend through the run of the holidays. So, like, okay, like, we need, like, kind of rally and get this figured out, and one night I had been there quite late, and all the lights, to turn them on, you had to push these like fuse breakers. They're like really difficult. You really had to like push them, and it like kind of hurt your fingers because they were like so old and stiff. And I heard them all go on, and I was like, well, who is in the lighting booth? Like, that's weird. And I like walked toward, so there's like a rehearsal space and then a hallway, and I walked toward the theater, and I looked to the left into the booth, and all of the buttons push and all of the lights come on. I was like, but there was no one in the booth. I was like, what the fuck? So I turn and I look, and on stage, the artistic director was standing there. And he had a really distinguishable New York Yankees baseball hat that he wore, like ratty and gray. It used to be blue, but it like grayed. And he would always stand like this, kind of holding it and look at the scenery before he decided if he liked things or not. And he was standing like that. And I just looked at him and I said, oh my God, Roy, you can't be here. Because that's a logical thing to say.
You can't be here.
He looked at me, but it was just like your brain is trying to catch up with what you're seeing.
Yeah,
he
right.
looked at me, and then it's like I blinked, and it wasn't like he disappeared or faded away or like left me a otherworldly message. It was just like when a photo flashes and then your eyes like see the image kind of burnt on your retina, but it's not there. Like it was like he just wasn't there anymore. I'm like, okay, I'm going home. Like I'm not staying here. Like fuck this. Same thing. Just like book it out of the theater.
I ain't gonna lie, that one just sends chills down my spine. Oh, hell no. Hell no.
I'd be freaked out,
Like
but
we talked about earlier, I've definitely experienced things that like I maybe couldn't explain or didn't know what they were, or were sort of, different levels of paranormal. But when you start like seeing someone that I knew was dead,
right,
within like 72 hours, like he was dead. There was no question about it. It wasn't like a trick. There was no one in the theater. And if there had been someone in the theater, it could not have been him.
Exactly.
Course, yeah.
Just oh my God,
no
my
one even
face.
looks like him. Like,
It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have never went back. I would have never went back. You would have never saw me back in them doors again. Never.
You would not make your last debut there.
Hell no. I'm like, no, I was here alone. I saw what I saw, and I'm done.
Guys, I'm sending out a request for like a cool stuffed animal that I can just like hold around this time of Halloween because people just keep telling me scary stories and I just need some kind of comfort. I don't know what to do. It's so overwhelming. I'm so
It's
scared.
like the old Halloween Horror Nights. You used to be able to hold like a little wand. It was like a glow stick wand, and if you held that, they like weren't supposed to scare you. It's one of those.
Yeah.
I want like a cool bunny with like patches and like
I can't even
or like
do
like a
Halloween.
bat wolf or
Halloween
something.
Horror Nights was too much for me. I'm like 22, 23 at this time. I went to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time, and this kid is getting chased by a guy in a wolf costume. And he's chasing the kid clearly, but I start running too. I start running too. I was like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. Who he after? Who he after? I saw the kid run. I'm like, I think it was my instincts. My instincts was just like, uh-oh, it's going down. It's going down. I'm like, no, it's time to move. I'm like, man, everybody like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, yo, I said that wolf. He ain't running, I gotta run.
Survival.
I don't play. I can spook myself out still. I'm 30 years old and I'll still spook myself like I'm 5. My mama used to call me her little sucker, and I don't know. I get a little in my own head sometimes. I can't help it. I just don't know. I still got an imagination, I guess. It's pretty strong. It's strong. Mm. I watch movies now when I'm scared to walk out in the living room at home by myself. So help me. Help me, please, someone. But, go ahead.
I don't know. Like I said, I experience paranormal on the daily, you know, and I'm not just like trying to be funny, but it's like there's a ghost that I live in proximity with. I'm fairly certain. Like they often, you know, talk to me through like lights, I suppose, and you know, a lot of the time lights. But I just like remember my mom again. Like she was such a heavy like influence as to like my experiences, I suppose, and I would always think, you know, oh, they're not paranormal, they're you know, some kind of like evil spirit, right? But I remember, so I have like a lot of like memories of things being like, what was that? Was it evil? And I remember like there's this castle that I feel like you guys need to make a trip to Colorado, like the two of you, because there's this castle in Manitou Springs, right? And it's Manitou Springs is just like so much energy is there. Have either of you been?
Oh, wow.
Have you guys been?
Mm-mm.
I really suggest
I think
going.
you mentioned this story to me before, like, yeah, about that area.
I did. Yeah, there's they have like Emma Crawford is like they have like the coffin races around this time because like one of the like the founder's wife of that town, she had died and they buried her on top of a hill, and her coffin, like really rainy, her coffin slid all the way through the town, and so now every year they have like coffin races to be like, hey, remember that time?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but like Manitou is specifically the place that has like you can find like
I'm telling you.
Right?
I'm telling you, what the hell? Count me out 17,000 times and don't ever send me another invitation.
That's where all the occult shops are. That's where that like that's like you enter it and you can feel it like as soon as you enter that town. I'm telling you. And I remember as a child the strongest memory that I have of like being like, I know this happened and no one like believes me, you know? I think I was like 10 and we went to this castle that has like haunted tea parties, and it's like they make it cute, but it's actually like people lived here, people died here, you know? And so I'm there and like I wandered off from my mom and my grandma and my aunt, and I was in a gift shop, right? And there was a man in this gift shop, and he had like long white hair, and he was like he was really nice, right? And he was like talking to me, you know, like showing me things inside the gift shop, like there was, I remember like this like fur specifically that that he like showed me and that I felt, and I was like, whoa, like this is really nice, like I want one, you know? And there was some dolls too that I really wanted, and I was like, I never wanted dolls, and I was like, wow, these are so nice, you know, like I like these things. And then like I just remember like my mom being like, Greta! And me being like was scared, and like I turned around and I was like, what? And then like I ran over to her and I was like, what? And she's like, where were you? And I was like, I was just looking in here, just looking around the gift shop and talking to that nice man. And she's like, what man? There's no man here. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I really want this doll though. Can you get me this doll? And like I showed her and I tried to show her and like I couldn't find it. Like, and I was like, I was just so close. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
I knew I didn't trust you.
No.
I knew I didn't trust her.
And I was just so confused. And I was just so confused because I was like, what man? I was like, the man. I was like, Mom, the man, he was here. And I was like, I really want the thing that he was showing me. She's like, and she was so mad at me for like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about, because she was like, what thing, Greta?
God.
What thing do you want? And I was like, I don't know.
Boy, no, hell no.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Send me home.
Guys, I gotta do a quick time. I actually have to go back to work. I'm so sorry. I only have an hour today.
No, that's fine. We're actually
I'm
going to
so
wrap it
sorry.
up right here. We love you, Brice. We thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We thank you so much, man. I'm sorry we caught you at such an awkward time, but we got it, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I love that you guys had us. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for being here, my brother. We wish you nothing but the best. Continue to be spooky and
Yes.
stay safe out there. Stay safe out there, man, because it ain't safe. We
Thanks,
love
guys.
you, man.
Really
Thank you for
excited
coming
to
through.
run. Oh my
God.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
No problem.
One leaves, one enters.
Well, who's this special guest we got in here right
Yes,
now?
please introduce.
This is Mia.
Mia?
This is Mia right here. Mia, come here.
Aw,
Mia, say hi.
Mia,
And she is decked out in her Halloween kerchief right here.
Oh,
She
Mia,
is
I
my
miss Mia.
foster babe right here, and she's actually traveled with me to a couple of haunted locations as well.
Oh my
She
God.
has a ghost story. She has a ghost story too. Yeah, you do.
Oh wow.
I'm all ears.
With a woman in white at the Glen Tavern Inn. She has a story. So,
Oh my God,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Even the
We have
dogs.
that picture actually on our Instagram. But long story short, I went to the infamous Glen Tavern Inn, which is it's claimed to be haunted. And one night I woke up to what sounded like running up and down the hallway outside of my room. And I grabbed Mia and we did an investigation and we found nothing. And we go downstairs to the first floor. And apparently on the first floor, there's apparitions of children and a woman in white. So it was, I want to say 2:45 in the morning, and I did an EVP. I got nothing, or electronic voice phenomenon session where you ask questions and whoever answers that you can't see will, answer into your recording device.
Right.
But I got nothing. So I go up the stairs. I'm like, okay, Mia, let's go upstairs. Let's go back to bed. And as we're going up, I noticed like she's sitting on the bottom of the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, come on, Mia. I'm just like looking up, and then I look back and she's just like looking on the right. I'm like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at, Mia?
Oh, shit.
What are you looking at?
And she's just looking at me, and she's looking at this thing on the, I can't see it. I'm like, oh my God, stop looking at the devil. So I grabbed my phone. I took a picture, and the picture comes out. You see this mist-like anomaly on the area that she's looking directly at. And you see her looking, and there's this mist standing by the banister.
Oh my God.
And it's white. And I took
Oh,
another picture, and you don't see it. And I took the second one, and you see it. And it's right there. And I noticed this the next day because I was so tired, but I noticed that she saw something, and I took a picture, and it manifested right there in one of the pictures. So that's her ghost story.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, but animals they have that sense. They can see things.
Oh, I'm a firm believer of that.
She definitely saw something.
I'm a firm believer. I see my animal looking at something. I know, okay, what you see, buddy? They don't move. It's time to go. It's time to go. All right, let's go. That's another set of eyes that I ain't got. It's like babies. You gotta. They see something. You gotta let them know. All right. I take heed. I'm out of here. But you a little risky. You stick around. You stick around. I ain't got the heart. I ain't gonna lie to you. I tell you right here, America. I ain't got the heart or the stomach unless they want dirty sheets and walls. From what's coming out of this backside, I suggest you get me up out of there.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just being honest. I'm just being
Actually,
honest.
I'm gonna send you guys right now just like a video of something that's like, I don't know, I think you guys would be like, ooh, spooky.
Okay, we'll check that out. But Tammie, what can so you gave us all these spooky stories. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired.
No!
I'm tired. I am beat. I am done. I don't know if you didn't get your spooky fix today. I don't know what the hell else you need because my back is dying with goosebumps right now. But you just dropped an episode just this past Monday, episode 70. Go check that out. Another innocent special plug. What's next for Hollyweird Paranormal? What do you guys have coming up that we could be on the lookout for? What's the next spooky place you're going to visit?
Oh, we don't know yet. I know that we did a little mini series called Chasing Ghosts. That's in association with Hollyweird, and I go to locations and investigate and do like a docu-series about it. And I'm working currently with a network based off of those series where we're going to merge ghost stories and music and musicians.
Oh.
So I can't go too much into detail about the network, but it's a big network that we're working with. And we just felt, because I love music, I love learning about musicians and rock bands, and
Yes.
Wanting to merge like music with the paranormal and see what we can come up with. So
Yeah.
I like-
That's so
there's a lot of
that's
stuff
so
out there.
cool.
I like meshing music with anything, so you got me right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you
I
got
love it too.
do they got you, you scaredy cat?
No, I watch some music paranormal stuff. That's always something interesting. See, I can watch like a series,
Yeah,
something that's
there's
giving me some insight, but nothing that's going to try to attack my soul and leave me feeling some type of way, you know? That's not me. But that's super fucking interesting right there, and I am definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's going to be special.
Yeah, thanks for telling us about it. That's
Yeah, for
I'm pretty
real.
excited. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
For real.
Yeah, but if you follow us on Hollywood Paranormal on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at HWP Podcast, we'll keep you guys updated. We'll be doing just more interviews with people in the field as of right now, and we'll definitely keep everyone updated about that future project as well. But, we work with movie stars and movie sets in the paranormal. We wanted to shift it more to music, which we have done in the past, and now
Yes.
it's going to be manifested, and I'm really excited to try that venture. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. And I don't know if we mentioned it. I think we did, but she also does costume design. She's in the world. She's a fucking
Yes,
beast.
I do.
She's a
very
beast.
Just
talented.
came out starring Clancy Brown and Euphoria's Jacob Elordi, and this movie was 4 years in the literally almost like 5 years in the making. But we shot it in 2017, and we shot it at quite a few haunted locations
Oh God.
in and around Los Angeles, and we had another unit in Oregon. Yeah, we had a lot of stories flow around, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, old places, old theaters, they have stories. So yeah, it's called the Mortuary Collection, and you guys can stream it on Shudder. But I definitely did the costumes for it because I love horror and couture as well. So
Yes.
there you go.
Bringing
Yeah.
it in every avenue. She lives this lifestyle. If you can't tell, they live the lifestyle.
I know. I gotta live it and breathe it every day.
I don't.
Especially at my job.
I don't know if I could. Well, one last question. What's your plans for Halloween? Because you see, we decked out. This is the most festive thing I'm going to do for Halloween. Greta, I know she got a million things she's going to do. But what do you have planned for this year's spooky quarantine Halloween?
Oh, well, my husband and I are going to go to Heritage Square and participate in Ghosts of the Past. So it's an interactive haunt experience, the same one I did in San Diego. If you go to witchesbrewla.com, you can find more information about it. And it's Heritage Square. It's a location of adopted Victorian homes that have been salvaged in Los Angeles. They saved them from being demolished, and they brought them to this location. And each one is definitely got a story, because the film that I designed costumes for shot there, and there's a lot of weird things that happen on set. So we will definitely be going there. And then, of course, passing out candy or throwing candy to the trick-or-treaters.
Catch it! Catch it! Oh my God, make it fun.
Like, go far.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to
actually
be
kinda...
awesome.
Oh my God.
Now that I am down for. If there's anywhere I can go out and throw some candy at some trick-or-treaters, let me know. I'm down for that.
The adults will never be tricked anymore.
Here's your treat, suckers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all tricks and treats, kids. Get
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Tammie, we thank you so much for being a part today. We thank you. We thank Brice as well, although he had to cut out of here early. Guys, be sure to follow Hollyweird Paranormal.
Link
Please
below.
subscribe, follow, listen to every single episode. 70 up to date right now. And you guys are almost at your 3-year anniversary. Am I right about that? There's a 3-year.
Yeah, we're
almost.
at 3 years.
Yeah.
We're definitely at 3 years.
Congratulations.
Keeping this train moving.
Congratulations. They've been doing this for a while, and they're only getting better. You heard it here for yourself. We thank you so much. We appreciate you. We cannot wait to see what else is coming, even though we already got a hint, but we can't wait to see it with our own eyes and take it in and poop ourselves. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Ladies and gentlemen, Tammie, Brice, Hollyweird Paranormal.
Yay.
Big round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
I'm spooked out.
What a great fucking interview.
I'm spooked out, to be honest. Like, so I'm like,
Shout out to Hollyweird Paranormal, Tammie and Brice. My goodness.
For real.
They got more balls than I will ever have. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Tammie especially.
Tammie's a different breed. Tammie's a different breed. I would never take myself into the situations that she has taken herself into. I don't even think I was able to smoke much during that episode. First of all, these goddamn paws.
Yeah.
My
He's
paws.
literally got his little key paws
Over here,
today.
got burn holes in this motherfucker. Try to smoke with this bitch and shit. Like, good Lord Almighty. But you know, T'Challa must do what T'Challa must do.
Oh my God,
But
that's so funny.
You know, I'm a king. Kings gotta do it. But that was fun, man. That was fun. I'm definitely spooked out. I hope y'all spooked out. Hope y'all ready for a great Halloween.
And if you're wanting to know any more like spooky, scary stories to get in the mood or whatever you want, check out their podcast. They have well over 70 episodes, so check them out. You know,
check them out. You would not be disappointed. You would not be disappointed.
They both definitely attract they both have energy that they're able to be susceptible to things. So
exactly.
It's like
that was interesting though. Definitely some great insight here and there, you know, their backgrounds, especially Brice, how he came into the whole not lifestyle, but the whole paranormal world and things like that.
Yeah, just having that kind of like acceptance and everything after growing up in such, you know, like a fearsome community, because I certainly understand it, you know.
Yeah, I might be down to do something one day. Only with Tammie and Brice.
I see it. I see us dragging Ant into some spooky place. You know, I think we should all actually. Oh my God, Hollyweird Paranormal and Hi from Friends takes Colorado. Oh my God,
I'm in Colorado because I'm smoking your weed and I want to see your mountains.
But also it has like some of the most spookiest places, you know? It really has a lot of places there.
Yeah, you told a story that spooked me enough, so I'm well aware that this is spooky in Colorado. But man, great way to bring in the Halloween season. Spooked shit out of me. My asshole's a little loose. Definitely gonna have to move my bowels in a minute.
Please, if you haven't already, submit your costumes really quick to the costume contest that Corrupt and Immoral's having. Hi from Friends has put in their Hi Sega shirt into the giveaway, so you could have your chance to win your very own Hi from Friends shirt, along with some other goodies. And join us on Halloween too, you know?
If you haven't had a chance to order any, you know, this will be the perfect opportunity to slide your way up in there and hopefully come up with some chances. What's wrong with going for something that's free, huh? Ain't nothing but a little sign up submission.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I know you have costumes. I know you have pictures, and I know you could win. Show me.
You don't want to see my costumes. Well, I got some personal costumes, you know what I'm talking about. But we ain't going to get into that. We want y'all to be safe out there this Halloween season, man. I don't know what you got planned. It's going to be difficult for people to get out there. Do you do? You know, you can always do some of the things that Tammie shouted out. We'll drop some links down there for you guys to check out.
Quarantine Halloween with me.
Do your thing. Be safe. Get ready for next week. enjoy this week, daylight savings, but get ready for next week, because when we see you guys next week, it'll be a whole new regime, maybe, or maybe we'll still be under what we're under. So we'll see how that plays out, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
I guess.
But yeah, ain't no choice. We'll get to it. But have fun, man. Be safe this Halloween. Have a good time. Get spooky. Scare the shit out your people. Have fun, man. Go somewhere haunted. I ain't going. Don't invite me. But go out, have yourself a good time.
I don't go either, but tell me about it.
Yeah, send us videos.
I'm going to drink your blood now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. See, we're sipping wine. Shit, we've been sipping that Bleezy today. You dig? That red dick. But
I was like, I have to sip it slow because I will get sleepy. But I was like, but it calls for it. I feel like the whole time, I'm like,
yeah.
the red wine. I will drink your quarantine blood from 6 feet.
I will drink your balls. No, okay, get out. I'm kidding.
Oh, end it now. End it now.
Okay. Well, as usual, you guys, we always have a great musical performance and guests for you all, and today is no different. Today is very special. We have a very special visual for you all from the Ivories, starring our good friend Brian. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, done.
Stupid.
No, but yeah, please enjoy. It's really cool. Give them a like, comment, a subscribe, a follow, whatever you want. But seriously, check them out.
Yes, please check them out. Give them a follow. Be sure to follow Hollyweird Paranormal. Be sure to check out hotforfriends.com. Get your merch. Check out with all the latest episodes, all of everything. Unplug. Cypher for Friends.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Stay safe. Do your thing. Enjoy the weekend. We love y'all. We see y'all soon. I say it's all good.
Because it's all good.
And pal, that's Greta Hutch, and this is the Ivories, and their #1 smash hit single, soon to be on your Billboard charts and your iPods and all those good things.
Oh my God, please enjoy.
Scared of Weed. Enjoy, starring Brian. Ha ha ha. See you next week. All right, y'all. Happy Halloween. T'Challa has left the beauty.